It's your girl, Princess, and thank you for joining us for another episode of CEO Confessions, where we have the no fluff conversation on what it takes to really become an entrepreneur. And I am joined by
Michelle,
Nikki.
We so high pitched. I'm Kels, everybody.
Today we are talking about community building. It's more than just having followers. We want supporters that support our every move and whatever that we choose and decide to do. So we've heard many stories of people having hundreds of thousands of followers, even millions, and can't make sales selling a product. They just have followers, whether purchased or earned, of people that's not just into them. What we want to do is build a community of supporters. How do we build a devoted audience that is not just people just following you?
Ooh, I love all these topics. I think community building is so important. It should be like one of the number one steps if you're building a brand. So I've been building my online community for 14 years. I actually started out as a natural hair influencer in a natural hair space. So there was already like this amazing community that I was entering, right? And so from there, I really developed friendships and, really bonded with people that I don't even know off of the internet just because I was my true authentic self. I do want to say when you're building community, that's one thing that you want to do is be true and authentic to you because you're going to attract those people. I was able to actually pivot my community. I started out in natural hair, pivoted to marketing, and I was able to bring everybody along, but they supported me because they saw the journey. They saw me work for this amazing hair care brand, everything I was able to do from them, and then I quit my job and I started my marketing agency. But I had these group of people, this community that has stood by me through the test of time, and it's so amazing to see what I've built because it's more than just waking up every day posting videos. Like I know some people may think, oh, you're in marketing, you just post videos all day. No, I'm building a community of people who are rallying behind something that I believe in. It's really important for, it may be important for them to watch my videos every day or however it makes them feel, but it just makes me feel so much, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. It just makes me feel so happy to know that I have people to support me that I may not even have met. When my family doesn't even support my business, my community supports my business.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I think about naturally in general, like what is community all about? And when we talk about having a community, a village of people, there's a place of trust and also there's a place of safety. So I think in developing this community for your brand, I think that when you're building relationships and you're building community, sometimes that's going to venture outside of your brand. Like we all have life be lifing. Life be lifing. And so sometimes that goes outside of being able to say, you know what, I just don't want to run this business today. Today, I just want to focus on my mental health. Mm-hmm. But having that community and that safe space to be able to do that, I think it just naturally, I think it builds relationship. It actually builds community and that way. And it's not so focused on just this business aspect. And so I think that it naturally just, and instinctively, I think it develops lifelong friendships, partnerships, collaborations that I think that are invaluable when it comes to developing a community.
Yes, the community is definitely not specifically always your brand. That community can be for yourself, like you said, for your mental health. You may have a prayer group, or you may have a group of girlfriends that you go to brunch with and you all just vent, just to de-stress a little bit. Your business will operate well if the operator is able to function appropriately. So it may not just be specifically your brand for your community for your brand, but your community for yourself, your community for your team. Your team could be your community. Your team needs a community. Every facet of your business will have its own community, which will, all serve a greater purpose, but that community is more than just for so-and-so's hair business, so-and-so needs to have her own community as well.
That's good. How important is list building? What are ways that we can start bringing our social media followers over to bringing them offline? So, social media shuts down from time to time. No, the algorithm is everywhere. Can't even say that word. So what are some ways that we can actually start building up a list to bring this community over, to get more in depth with them?
Oh, building an email list, definitely. I think using social media as the vehicle, because realistically, social media is the top of funnel. Now, I'm not going to get technical on y'all with these marketing terms, but social media is just the top where people notice you at, where they get involved with your brand. And you don't want to keep them there. You want to move them off. So the best way to do that is to something that you own, which is an email list, because now you have the names and emails of all these people, and that's yours. You can send them a message today, tomorrow, to sell to them. With social media, like you said, Instagram may go down today, and then what are you going to do if that was your only avenue? So my suggestion is to move these people off of the apps. It doesn't have to necessarily be an email list. You could have a podcast, you could have a blog or a website, but you want to move them off of that. But I'm just going to go and say that an email list is gold, especially if you have an online business. So I'm only speaking from my perspective and what has worked for my clients and my business. And my email list is my number one way that I make money. So it's really important, again, to move those people off to something like your email list so that you can constantly promote and market to them.
Yeah, you definitely cannot depend on social media. That email list is phenomenal. That's key. That's golden. I would say give people a way to access you consistently. Yes, you may be on Instagram, but maybe they don't use Instagram. Maybe they need to find you on TikTok. Your email, your phone number, if it's something that's going to directly benefit you. I just say multiple ways to contact you.
Miss, I don't have my Instagram.
Yeah, I'm curious. How you gonna do this, girl?
So I will give an example about when I was. So when I actually had a podcast. And I did. Mm-hmm. It was very brief. 2 episodes brief. I got busy. Life was life.
And it was good name.
But what I actually ended up doing is that I actually when I started that podcast, I found a way of being able to take my community off. And so the name of the podcast was Queens Connecting Over Coffee. So I figured out, and I said every first Saturday of the month, we went to Zoom. And so that was a way that when people were like, oh, because even though the podcast, I didn't have time to do the podcast, I still ended up having a community of individuals that every Saturday at 8:00 in the morning, they knew that we were going to be on Zoom. And so from there, that was kind of how it grew. So I think that, finding a way of being able to, whether it's through an email, but finding a way on capitalizing on what it is that you're doing. Because that was, for me, I capitalized off of that. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can make this more intimate and I can make this more interactive. And that was my way to do that.
It's really good.
Well, I got some ideas now. I might do a Zoom call every Monday.
See?
Go ahead.
And it's motivational because she was like the money motivational Monday.
Yeah, I used to do intention settings on Monday on Instagram, but maybe I could take it to Zoom. Because then I'm going to get them on my email list and be selling to them.
Exactly.
There you go. Bait
Sign
them.
up if you want in.
Bait them.
A huge issue today is the social media gurus. A lot of them don't have the experience in the information that they're giving out. Some take a class one time, then start trying to teach it. If you're a beginner, what are some ways you can get your social proof even though you're just starting out?
I think we mentioned earlier about those relatable stories. If people know that you have lived through something that you're talking about, that gives you credibility. And then going back to what I said, if you have people that client review who can say, yes, she helped me get through XYZ, then that is going to secure your credibility as well. So personability, clientele, letting them tell their reviews, that'll help build your credibility.
these people exhaust me. They are exhausting.
tagged, y'all.
Yes, I am, because it's like somebody takes one master class and now they the master.
Yeah.
And now they're calling themselves a subject matter expert, and it is absolutely exhausting. So the thing about it is that you can't teach something that you ain't learned.
Say it.
And so you have to just sometimes, my grandma said, just sit down. Just sit down and listen. And so sit down, develop your craft, right? And really immerse yourself in it. Like dive all the way into it, and then put yourself out there to be able to be a subject matter expert or somebody that is knowledgeable about that area. Don't turn around and go to someone's masterclass and then regurgitate what you just heard them say, because now you're a fraud. That is that's fraudulent behavior to me.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that when people do it, and then when people start asking them questions and they can't ever really answer the question, that is going to affect your reputation, because now they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I took that master class and all she did was just give us a PowerPoint slide. She didn't really say anything. And then they're going to go tell that next person. So then you try to put your next workshop or your master class out there and ain't nobody signing up because your reputation has preceded you of not being someone that is credible or knowledgeable, or they've not even found it worth their time. So I think that just sit down, just sit down, just sat down and allow yourself to learn. Because no one becomes a subject matter expert, overnight. Right. And it goes back to these receipts. And I just stop the fraudulent activity. Stop the scamming, because it becomes real scamish. Like y'all catfishing people. Okay, I'm done.
Yes.
This is my favorite subject.
Woo. Give it
so
to
I'm just
us.
going to breathe. Because I feel like I'm definitely tired of all the experts. You take one class, now you a social media manager, you a social media because you help somebody grow. No. That's not how it works. Now, I am a real expert. Now, I'm going to say this. You need to put in time to actually develop and grow your craft. Yes, you could be an influencer and get 10,000 followers, but do you really know how to do it for somebody else? Yep. The reason that I can say is sit here and say I'm a marketing expert. I have helped companies with their marketing strategies, not just Instagram, a marketing strategy for Black Friday that helped make them multi-millions of dollars as a single person on the marketing team. So when I'm coming from saying that I'm an expert online, I really mean it. I've came from the depths of so many different facets of marketing, and really having real results. And like you said, I think it's really important to have results and receipts that I can show people, because you can't just say you're an influencer or a marketing expert or you do UGC content creation and then start to sell somebody on that. I think one of the things now in this world, I mean, you all may have seen it on social media. Well, not you, because you don't be on there. Right. But I'm going to tell you, there are people selling like digital courses of a course that somebody else has created for them. And now they're selling it so that you can sell it and it could be your course, but you don't even know about digital marketing. So those are the types of things that I do have issues with. Like, there is a such thing like as master resale rights. That's cool. Like you could get, PLR or whatever. Well, PLR, not master resale rights, but PLR, you could get an ebook and you could sell it, but it's somebody else that's already created. Cool. But you're an expert because you're selling the book, because you're a marketing expert, whatever.
You're selling it for that purpose.
But now it's just like this course. Anybody could buy it, but now you can say, I'm a digital marketing expert and I have a course that's going to help you. So you really, I think, have to have discernment with a lot of experts online and really follow them. I want to say in real life, like really look to see who have they helped, because if they just have helped one person, they might not be the best person to help you. So I'm with you, girl. Let's pray about it, because
scammers
be scamming.
Scammers be scamming. And I've seen people hurt. I've seen people financially hurt from giving money to people and then them not seeing a return on their investment. And it really does break their trust. They don't know who to trust. And that to me, as a business owner, I'm offended that someone has been out here scamming and financially abusing, because that to me is abusive behavior. To know that you are not a subject matter expert, to know that you don't know what you're doing, and then you have the audacity to take someone's money. People work hard for their money. And that really does frustrate me that I've had people come to me and say, you know what, we spent $100,000 for someone to come do this audit for us and we have nothing to show for it. Wow. That's hurtful because then I have to earn their trust to prove myself because and so I just think that, I mean, but again, what's in it? It's about the person. It's not about the people you're helping. It's about you getting a name and making a name for yourself and creating a platform. But it just needs to stop.
You're so passionate about it.
Because it is true.
It's hurtful to see people who really have dreams and visions. And when somebody does that to them, it kills their dream and it kills their vision. And I don't like that.
Me too. I have people in my program right now who's like, oh, I went to this girl and she said she could do all this. And it, like, she scammed them. And then they get in my program, they're like, oh my God, like, you're so giving. Like, this is such great information. But it's really hard for me, I'll be honest, to come up against all the scammers because they promise you all this stuff or they flashing, they Gucci and all this stuff online. And I'm just not that type of person. So you probably believe them because they're showing you that they have money. And I'm just showing you my regular self.
Authenticity.
And until you get into my programs, you can't really know. Like, I can only tell you so much about what I'm gonna provide to you or the courses, right? Because I can't give everything away, but I can't convince somebody who has been scammed like how better my stuff is than because you already got scammed with a person who said they had a course that was gonna help you.
That's a good point. Go ahead.
I think what you said earlier about discernment, I was gonna say when you all were talking, I'm like, well, isn't that common sense? But then I have to realize everybody doesn't have common sense. And what I said earlier, feeling that energy, looking for this person who you're trying to consider the subject matter expert. Yes, like you said, they have Gucci and all that stuff, but then like really get into the nitty gritty. Like, are these real people that are following them? Are there, maybe they got 1 million views, but it's only like 4 comments on the video, or, little things like that you can look for to like something's not adding up. Well, we say the math isn't mathing.
The math ain't math.
If it's not mathing, that's common sense. Like something ain't right. Like just because, this person says they have, all of this and they're showing that, well, are they getting the Airbnb like you said?
With the clothes in the closet.
Right, exactly. I was going to say that common sense piece though, but unfortunately everyone does not have that.
And some people are naive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
Unintentionally, some people they're naive and some people are gullible.
Yeah.
And so I think you have to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
And when people would reach out to me and ask me questions, I am very fully transparent. When you're going and you're asking people questions and they're being evasive or they're deflecting, I would not work with those type of people. What are you hiding? Like, I'm looking like, what are you hiding? Versus, I'm going to tell you everything. This is what I'm going to do. This is how much this is going to cost, and to try to put people at ease. And so I think that you just have to do your research and your due diligence and go to their list and reach out to people that's connected to them to be like, hey, I see you always commenting and working with this person. What has been your experience?
That's good.
That's true. Going through that back door.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I always say that money, growth, and trust is built in the behind the scenes. You have to be okay showing the good, bad, and ugly. If someone doesn't feel comfortable or want to open up about their life to the public, what can they post to still build that connection? They don't want to, be really the face of the brand, but they still want to build that community and connection. So what can they post?
I think for me as a relationship coach, everything that I post isn't specific to me. But I feel that the people that I talk to, it may help them, or this particular quote, this may get somebody, started off on the right foot for the day. It may not resonate with me, but this can help someone. I think keeping in mind your focal group, and really being conscious about what you put out there, because though something may not be a direct reflection of you, it may help your group of people that follow you.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think that depending on what your brand is, I think that should determine what you put out there, right? So if you're doing a business and let's say you're selling swimwear, you don't have to be sitting on social media trauma bonding with your followers. you know about your childhood, and that's not even necessary. So I think that you just have to know like your audience and people, and I think that's going to help you to determine what you need to share. So if you are a relationship coach, I think you should be sharing your relationship experience.
Yeah.
Don't get on here talking about, oh, marriage is great and marriage is wonderful and you just went through a horrible divorce.
Yeah.
So I think
got to be transparent.
Yeah. So I think that based on what it is that you are, what your brand is, I think that, that's helpful. I think that should maybe help you to let you know what is your level of vulnerability that you should be sharing with your audience. It's good.
Yeah, if people feel that they can connect to you, like we said, if they have that emotional connection and they see that, okay, well, she's a genuine person. She went through this. She's at least sharing not so good. She's sharing kind of everything. Then I can trust, I can trust her. Or I can, at least I know she'll tell me the truth.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I think a lot of people get stuck in their head and they don't want to overshare. I think that's like a big block to sharing. Like you were saying, I think it really depends on your business. Like if you're a founder, I want to know like, okay, what are some of the hard days? Like maybe, for instance, like I had a client and she, things were going wrong with her building of the building that she was having built, like showing the behind the scenes, like, okay, well today this happened. They didn't even put the right lights in here. I'm just trying to keep level headed, but thinking of ways that you can just show what's happening behind the scenes, but also, like you said, be relatable to your people, but also make it a teacher moment. Or maybe, maybe I should have did this, or, if this, whatever, just sharing those type of real things. But I think a lot of people want to overshare, like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm about to go to the movies.
Yeah.
If you're not like an influencer who shares their whole life, then I'm looking at you like, well, we don't really want to, see that stuff. So just get out of your head. Don't share everything. Just share what you feel will be valuable and benefit your business.
And share it authentically.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That's good. How do you all stay grounded and relatable? What are things you do to keep that up?
Ooh,
what you see is what you get. Like this is me all day, every day. And so I think that just being true to myself, I think is the best way to be able to stay grounded. I don't have to worry about trying to be, somebody that I'm not. People who like me will like me. Some people who don't, they won't. And that's totally, okay. And my business is not for everybody. And I recognize that and I'm comfortable in that. But I think that, I think it's really important to be comfortable with who you are as an individual person. Like you gotta be, what is it? You gotta be good in your own skin. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you know who you are, I think that helps you to be able to stay grounded. That's good.
Yeah, life has a way of humbling people. And if you haven't been humbled by life, I like to say yet.
Right.
You are going to face trials and tribulations, and that in itself will humble you. I stay grounded by just remembering like those moments, what I had to go through to get through those moments, and just really being grateful for getting through those moments and for God sending me the people that he did in those times to help me get through those moments. I think a lot of my friends or associates help me to stay grounded. I can call them up and say, hey, I'm having a bad day, or I'm not feeling right about this. Can I run this past you? And just get their honest feedback. Now, my friends know. They say, I'll tell you the advice, but you ain't going to take it. I just want to hear what you think. I still want to hear what you have to say. But just staying humble and really realizing that you may go up quick, but that fall down can be quicker. So never forget where you come from, because you never know if you have to go back.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that has been said too. I think, just being my true authentic self. My husband helps me stay grounded a lot, because sometimes I be ready to fist fight. He's like, bring it back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just think about it. But also, like you said, thinking about all the things that I've been through and everything that I had to go through to get to where I am today, it just makes me like, okay, it can't be harder than it was yesterday. It only could get easier from here. So I like to say, be humble, but in this season, I don't know how humble I'm gonna be. I've been humble, not in a bad way, but just as I know who I am, and you are not about to walk over me in this season. So
I know that's
I'm
right.
humble, but to a certain extent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. This has been another great, impactful episode. I hope you all had some great takeaways and found some things that you could start implementing in your business and in your day-to-day life. And we will see you on the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.
See ya.